Man, I tear up this ground good. It's got some good 5-6 inch ruts in there. Early this spring, everything was still mud, mud, mud. We wanted to get the garden ready, so back this way is where our goats are. Got the tractor out, we went out there, we cleaned all that barn clean out. I drove through here and it was nasty. It was like driving through like chocolate pudding. Around over to the garden, dumped everything in. We got the job done. The garden's doing great. But this piece of land right here is still a mess. And I've tried to clean it up a few times with the bucket and my tractor to try to level it out. And it just doesn't go. It's way too hard now. It's all dry. And I picked up a new tool for the tractor. And I want to give that a try tonight and see how it works. It should be able to loosen this ground up quite well, and then we can get it graded back and smooth, so when I come back here and I try to mow, it's not like beating the crap out of me and beating the crap out of my mower, bottoming out on the dirt. So let's give this a shot. We'll go get the tractor out. I already disconnected the finish mower, so the tractor's ready to go. This should be pretty quick. And oh, and I got a funny story to tell you guys about this tool, or a tool just kind of like it. Well, that only took about 3 different times of trying to back up and line things up and line things up. This thing's not light, I can't really move it. This is our new tool. This is a disc harrow made by King Cutter that I snagged on Facebook Marketplace for a really good deal. The guy used it, I think he said like 13 years ago he used it when he was building his house, and then just kind of parked it back behind his barn, and that's just where it sat this whole time. It took about a tube and a half of grease to get the whole thing greased back up to the point where it's spinning good now. The pins for the 3-point, I had to replace them. They were pretty crappy. In fact, they were loose, and they were so rusted I couldn't even tighten them. So just pulled them off and put new pins on there. And we're going to give this a shot and see how it works back there. Should be able to till up that soil, loosen it, and then if we need to, we can get our 4-wheeler and a drag and just smooth it out really nice. But I promised you a story about this. And my buddy Phil, and Phil does watch our videos. I've been friends with Phil for about 40 years, we figured. So we were like 8 or 9 years old when we first met. And it was one summer, I don't remember exactly when it was, because the same type of thing happened to me every single summer from the time I was about 10 until I was about 16. And that I always cut my foot open. I was like one of those kids that I was barefoot all day, all summer, and every single summer I cut my foot on something so bad to the point where I had to get stitches. The story I'm telling you today happens to be a disc plow, and that me and my buddy Phil, we were hunting for who could find the longest dandelion. And we were going through these weeds back behind his house. We were finding dandelions like this tall and trying to find the longest one. And I was walking through these weeds and I saw the perfect dandelion, and I'm like, oh, I think I found the best one, Phil. And I was walking and there was a disc harrow buried in the weeds. And when I stepped on it with my foot like this, well, you can't really see. Basically the blade like this and my toe sliced right up between, well, if this is your big toe, between these 2 toes, sliced right open. I will finish my story here for you in a bit. Using the bucket of your tractor to precisely move your tractor forward and backward to get your pins lined up. I learned that trick from Todd over at SSL Dad. Great YouTube channel, fellow Michigander. And it worked quite well. You can't really move this plow by hand. Yeah, so much for it not being hot out. There's zero wind. Before we try this out, I do want to say one thing to you guys, and that is thank you. Thank you to those of you who utilize our Amazon affiliate links, the other affiliate programs we run, like the Green Stalk Garden Planner, the OLIGHT Flashlights. When you guys support us by supporting the people that we're affiliated with, it gives us extra income. And we always use that extra income and reinvest it right back into our homesteads. That's how we were able to purchase something like this disc harrow. It was cheap, it was not a lot of money, but the extra money that we earn from you guys supporting us, that's where that type of stuff goes. And I'm excited for fixing this. But I'm also excited for it for next year with this big pasture that we have back here. If we want to do different things, like I've always wanted to make like a big row, whether it be along the side or down the middle by where my bees are. Just make a big row, till it up, and plant the whole thing with sunflowers. Or do another row somewhere else, like along the back, with nothing but wildflowers. And this is going to give us the opportunity to do stuff like that pretty easily. But my question to you guys is, we have probably 4 acres back here. And we could plant pretty much anything we wanted. We could do sweet corn, we could do pumpkins. What's something that you guys think would be cool next year for us to try back here? There's no water back here. We're not gonna run a hose 400 feet back here to water stuff. So whatever it is, it's gotta be self-sustaining. But put your ideas down in the comments for me. And next spring, next summer, we'll go back through, we'll reread those comments, and maybe we'll do something unique and plant something back here that we've never done before. Let's get this thing tried out, and then, oh, and I'll finish my foot story, because the funny part's coming up. I'm impressed. I feel like it needs a little bit more weight though. I know a lot of people get cinder blocks and put them on the back. So next time I do that, I'm probably going to throw a couple blocks on it just to see if I can get it to dig in a little farther. I might have to make a little bit less passes, but the passes aren't always about digging. A lot of times it's about chopping up the sod and stuff like that too. I don't even know if I even need to get my drag out and drag this. I could probably just come out here with a rake. In about 10 minutes, I'd have it perfectly smooth. Maybe back drag it with the bucket a couple more times to smooth it out a little bit, but I mean, it's worked quite well. Probably hit it with the grease gun a little bit more. The rest of my story. So I stepped on the disc. It's an old rusty. You got your big toe, your next two toes. The disc, as I stepped, the disc sliced right up in between my toes, gushing blood everywhere. My buddy Phil, I don't remember if he carried me home that time, or it was kind of a common theme that my friends, once I gashed my foot open on whatever it was, they would pick me up and carry me home because I was like 100 pounds or something because I was so darn skinny. Got home, my mom was like, okay, looks like you're going back to the ER again to get stitches. So go to the hospital. Typical routine every summer I'm there. My mom jokes about how the ER doctors knew me by first name. And it was always a cut of some sort that required stitches. So I get in, I go into the emergency room. They numb it all up with whatever that stuff is that hurts when they stick that needle in there and numb you up. Okay, doctor will be in about 10 minutes. We'll get you stitched up. We'll send you home. No big deal. So they come in and they start working on it and they start stitching up the bottom of my... I'm tempted to take my shoes off and show you, but I won't. They start stitching it up and they get to where my toes are, like up in here. And the guy's like, let me see your other foot. And I'm like, why? He goes, because there's all this extra skin in here and I don't know where it's from. I started giggling. And I showed him my other foot. And on my feet, these two toes are grown together like halfway up. So as the doctor's stitching it up, he couldn't figure out where all this extra skin came from. And he looks at my other foot and he was like, oh, okay, all makes sense now. We'll just put it back the way it was. So he stitched it all right back the way it was. So my toes match now. They're growing up on both of those toes equally the same still. Well, I'm losing my light. I think it's time to head in. Thank you again. Those of you who support us via our affiliate links, be it Amazon, Greenstock, OLIGHT, whatever it happens to be. When you guys support us in that way, any money we make, we sink it right back into the homestead, whether it be buying this plow, garden supplies, fertilizer, anything we need from the homestead. When we need something, that comes right from that pot of money and goes right back here. So, thank you. I'm gonna head in. I'm not gonna take this plow off tonight though. I'm gonna play around with it some more tomorrow. I'm thinking we hunted back here last fall for deer. Rachel saw quite a few. I'm wondering if I should put in a little food plot back there. Half an hour, back and forth, throw some seed down. Might be a good idea. If you guys have other ideas for next season on this back 4 acres of what we should plant, throw it in the comments for me. See you guys.